In 1990, the notorious drug dealer Raphael Edmond III was finally convicted and given a life sentence. Edmond sold upwards of $2 million worth of crack cocaine a week and ran one of DC's largest private enterprises, with over 150 people on its payroll and at least 30 murders linked to it. On the other end of the criminal spectrum, you have Anthony Papa, who decided to deliver 4 ounces of crack for $500 to fix his car. The buyers, however, were undercover cops, and Papa, who had no criminal record, was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison. What's the link that ties these two cases together? Mandatory minimum sentencing laws. These laws, according to U.S. legal, are defined as sentences that require a person convicted of a crime to be imprisoned for a minimum term, as opposed to leaving the length of punishment up to judges. In both cases presented, mandatory minimum sentences were used to give the offenders their sentence length. On one hand, you have a drug kingpin, and on the other, you have a first-time offender. Few would disagree with the belief that Edmond deserves his punishment, but Papa, he never committed a crime before and only delivered 4 ounces of crack. Did he truly deserve a 15-year sentence? Advocates of mandatory minimum sentences argue that ensuring that people like Edmond get put away for a long time make them necessary. However, opponents of the laws say that for every Edmond, there are many Anthony Papas who are given an unjustly harsh punishment. So how have mandatory minimum sentencing laws affect the United States justice system? Have they been beneficial or detrimental? Are they the cause of problems, or are they evidence of a deeper underlying problem within the system? Some say that mandatory minimum sentencing discriminates against minorities. Is this true? Additionally, I want to research into the theory and reasoning behind these laws. Why were mandatory minimum sentencing laws passed to begin with? What were the circumstances at the time, and how do they relate to the current U.S. crime environment? These are just some of the questions that I will attempt to answer in my final research paper. The United States has the largest criminal population in the world. Over 2 million people are currently incarcerated in this country. Nearly 50% of people in federal prisons are incarcerated due to drug crimes, the type of crime mandatory minimums are used the most for. There are clearly problems with the system, and a lot of people are pointing at mandatory minimum sentencing laws as a solution or the cause of the problems themselves. Through my paper, I hope to resolve this issue.